Welcome to the Stewardship Connection Friday Night live stream. Hope y'all had a great week. CW, how was your week?
It went by like just fast. I can't believe it's already Friday. Didn't get a whole lot done. Did a whole lot of running around. But we've had some hot weather. Couldn't do much outside the past couple of days. It's been the temperature hasn't been too bad, but that damn dew point and that feels like temperature. Wow, just can't do anything outside. The tomatoes are growing like crazy. They love it. It's about the only good thing I can think of.
It must be about 65 degrees there.
No, it's probably, it was 90 today. I don't know what it is now, but it was hot out there. But got some things done down here in the loading room. A couple more things I want to get done. Thought about getting to the range, but the heat was just too much. So hopefully fishing tomorrow will be down on the shore. That'll be better weather down there. Ricky, how was your week?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. I was kind of lazy all week. Didn't get nothing done. Just barely get up and go to work and come back home. Rained most of the week. Yesterday's the first day it didn't rain here. Hopefully it holds off for tomorrow morning so we can shoot tomorrow. Trained a new employee this week, or started training. He's doing pretty good, so thankful for that. That's about all I got. How about you, Bama Dad?
Nothing but a tree on the house.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's been a lot. No, it's a lot of fun. It's not on the house. It's about 1.5 feet above it. It's about to fall on it. The rain undermined the root ball, and it decided to lean over. I had a guy come by today. Guy from church came by today, and he said, "Hey, I'll just bring a telehandler over, and we'll top it and get it out of the way. We'll cut it up for you." I said, "Well, I appreciate that. That saved me $1,000."
Yes, sir.
That ain't hard to take.
No, it was a blessing. But that's about all I got going, other than restoring an old drill press.
That's fun stuff.
Rebel, how
What
about
about
you?
you,
How
Rob?
was it down there in North Carolina?
Well, hot. It's been hot. It stayed hot. Today I had several nice things happen. Didn't make much money, but made some deals for potential. I had one customer that I let him go, and he took because the rifle was a cheap rifle, and he was paying me regular. He's older and doesn't make a lot of money, but he's a ridiculous guy, and it took him probably 4 months to pay off a Savage Axis in 270. And he said, I know I got it paid off. I don't want to pick it up today, okay? I said, yep, okay, that's fine. That was 2 weeks ago. He came in today and said, hey, I've got myself in a bit of financial bind. Would you buy that rifle back? I said, yeah. He said, well, I know I put you through a lot of trouble. How about $200? Okie dokie. I've done this to him 3 times. I ain't even $200. He was skipped out there just as happy as he could be. And I ripped his receipt off the tag and stuck it right back up on the shelf. $483 rifle. Go figure. But, there's an idiot born every minute. And I had another associate. I won't call him a customer. He's an associate. He's a local gun manufacturer. And he brought me a Wilson Combat grip frame or grip module for my 365 and installed it for me. And I haven't test shot it yet, but boy, that thing feels good. And he's the same guy that makes those AK ARs y'all looked at, and he's making parts for all kind of different people. There's people out there making an aluminum grip module for 365, which is very nice and very high end. And they were having some problems with the machining, and they contacted them, and those guys came in and troubleshooted for them and got the problem solved, and they're helping them out with that. So just a neat bit of business, you know. And I envy CW going out in the surf, you know, out in the ocean fishing. I can't go out as far as him without being having them motion sickness patches on every little spot on my body, but I'd do it. I love fishing that much. Anyway, Walter, what you got?
Well, let's see. I had actually kind of a busy week. I didn't get out to the range at all this week. I got a buddy who lives on the couple hundred miles east of me in the Sierra foothills, and he's 4 years older than me, which puts him at 82, and he's on a downhill slide. And his wife had called me a month ago and says, "You better get on over here and spend some time." And he's probably got a year or two left, but he's not doing any well. I've known him for 55 years. He's my oldest surviving friend. And we've done it all together. We flew airplanes, we rode motorcycles, we cowboyed, we scuba, all of it together over that half a century. So I plan on getting over there more frequently this next year or two. I'll see how long he can hang out. But anyway, it turned out to be a good visit. He's doing reasonably well. He's had multiple strokes as his biggest issue, plus a whole bunch of other medical problems that he's got. But anyhow, so that was good. I spent the afternoon underneath my Toyota Tundra pickup trying to chase down an electrical problem. Pain in the butt. I hate going underneath that truck. Well, let me quit lying. I don't mind going underneath it. It's coming back out from underneath it.
It's the whole getting back up part. Getting down is great.
Yeah.
Gravity works.
Yeah, you got gravity going for you there. But anyway, I got that chased down and got the part and got it fixed and stuff. And anyway, so yeah, I got some video out this week. I got a couple videos coming up next week, maybe 3 videos. We're going to do the second half of that quad cutter project. But so yeah, I'm keeping busy and out of trouble, which is all good. So, Mr. Kyle, what's happening down your way?
Oh, it's just hot, mosquitoes, humid, you know, that kind of stuff. No, I had a pretty good week. I was off Wednesday and Thursday. My plans were to load up a bunch of test rounds for the Argentine. I got those loaded up. What I failed to accomplish was getting to the range because it felt like 110 degrees down here. And I just know. And then my out was my mom called, and my mom and dad wanted to take me and my wife out to dinner, and I never turned down a free meal. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. So we went to a very early supper, late lunch, and so that was good. I got to spend time with my family, and that was all well and good. Spend a little time in the pool with the wife, and now I'm at it and not off till Wednesday and Thursday again. So we're just going to grind it out until then. That's all I got.
All right. Somebody just come in, I think. The Scotsman is here.
Scotsman.
What's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Hanging in there.
Good.
Had a good, solid week of vacation. Chilled out. Did some good shooting. Had some fun. So yeah, doing okay.
I seen this video with this tall guy shooting a Smith and Wesson revolver, except for he was shooting it single action over and over and over again, like a whole cylinder. I had to make a comment on that little short. I hope you saw it.
You know, the funny thing is, you know, yeah, I was shooting that like that, but Heath brought out, Allen B. Pro brought out a Colt Anaconda in 44 Magnum.
Boom.
And I'm going to tell you right now, those 310 grain bullets went downrange like butter, like freaking butter. I was having so much fun. I was trying to ignore the cost of how much that box cost because that box was not cheap.
Yeah.
I went through half of that box and I had to stop. I'm like, dude, I got to stop because I could literally just go through this. I'm having so much fun. I got to stop. I could easily have just kept on shooting all day long.
So we want to get. Ozzy saw that video too. Good deal. So y'all want to get to the first topic of the night?
And no finger wiggle. That was a rather dainty finger wiggle.
My question to all of you is, what did you think of the finger wiggle or the finger jiggle or whatever you want to call it?
Can't hear you, man.
I don't know why.
Try it again, Scott.
Everything's good. I got the mic on. The mic's right. Oh, hold on. No, it's not. All right, you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Microphone was off. No, the thing of it is did y'all figure out what the finger wiggle is? Because I'm still trying to figure out what Alan was trying to do there.
I still couldn't make it out. Something getting noise from somewhere.
I'm getting awful static. I don't know if anybody else hears it, but it's bad.
I can hear it coming through your microphone, but
Yeah.
I can hear an echo along with some background talking or something.
I don't know that it's me. I've been having my microphone off until I just commented there, but I still hear it. I don't hear it right now, but I heard it up until everybody's speaking. I'll turn the microphone back off.
well, that could have been anybody.
Yeah.
Do you hear it now?
No.
No, it seems to be clear now.
All right.
Better?
Scotsman, try it again, brother.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck happened there.
I hear a TV in the background, but that's about all I hear.
Yeah, I ain't got no TV. I'm not rich. You're talking to the
TV, but I've got $12,000 worth of guns.
You're talking to the wrong person about TVs. I ain't got no TVs, man. I got guns. I got things to protect my life.
Well, the TV's not going to do that, I promise you.
No, it
Which
ain't.
beats somebody
Well,
with.
technically it could. I mean, I could swing a TV at someone, I guess, if I had to.
I imagine if you hit somebody with a 60-inch TV, it might take them out.
It probably hurt a little bit.
All right, here we go. Let me see if I can do this. That ain't it.
I'm going to quit. We've got to be careful not promote violence.
I would never do such a thing.
Absolutely not.
This is our topic for the night. The Winchester Model 1895. Now, these are the new ones. I'm sure that's a Morocco-made model. But y'all remember the last time we were talking about Winchesters, we talked about the 1894. This is the very next year. This is also a John Browning design. So 1 year after the 1894, he replaced the tubular magazine with a box magazine. And the reason for this was the Spitzer type pointed military bullets that were military cartridges that were becoming all the rage in Europe and even in the United States of America too. The U.S. had this thing they were calling 30 U.S. or 30 Army, but y'all would know it better as the 3040 Craig. This gun was pretty much designed around that cartridge, but when it was introduced in two black powder cartridges, the 3872 and the 4072. So y'all got to remember that these are black powder cartridges, and they're pushing big old honking lead bullets with grease grooves and all that stuff, okay? But that was kind of insurance for Winchester, to those two chamberings, because this whole new thing called smokeless powder, the bullets had sharp points on them. They were copper jacketed. So there's a lot of new stuff coming out. And Winchester wasn't absolutely positive that the gun buying public was going to go for all this new stuff that's coming out. So kind of to hedge their bets on the 3040 Craig and other military type cartridges, they introduced it in 3040 Craig, 3872, 4072. But they dropped the black powder chamberings pretty quick, like after the first 10 or 15 years. Those went away, and they introduced more smokeless cartridges like 303 British, the 30-03 and the 30-06, and they even went so far as to design their own cartridge called the 405 Winchester, and that became Teddy Roosevelt.
All right,
They had another one too. 35 Winchester.
So there's a lot of new going on there, and this gun stayed in production until 1936. We're getting a bad.
Ain't me, I'm muted.
Okay. But all right, it stayed in production until 1936, but they continued to assemble rifles out of the stock parts that they had until around 1940. So between 1895 and 1936, Winchester produced about 475,000 of these rifles. Well, that seems like a lot, but there was one European country that made two separate orders of these things, and they were chambered in 7.62 by 54R. So what country you think?
Russia.
Russia, yeah.
So more than half of the production was bought by Russia.
They also made muskets. You know, talk about those as well.
Well, yeah, all these models that we've been talking about were offered in the carbine, rifle, and musket class.
Brian, that echo's coming through you. You're the only one who's not muted.
So after about the first 5,000 or so, Winchester did away with the pistol grip option. So they were offered in, like CW was saying, they were offered in carbine, which was 20 inch, I think. Then rifle length was 24 or 26, and then the musket was from here to the next county somewhere over there. But I thought it was interesting that Russia ordered these in 1915 for the First World War. And there's videos out there of either pictures or videos. I gotta let me stop this. Y'all want to see some of Ian McCullum talk about this rifle? Do we have time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While the pistol grips may no longer have been an option, with the 1895, you still had that same trio of standard barrel lengths, carbine, rifle, and musket, and of course, custom barrel lengths as well, custom handguards. But one thing that obviously you would not see any longer is the variety in magazine tubes. Of course, magazine tubes were gone. All of the magazines were now of this fixed box variety, typically 5 rounds, although in a couple of the chamberings, you can only cram 4 of them in there. We have, of course, a carbine and a rifle here. We have round barrel. We have octagonal barrel. This one has a really cool Lyman aperture sight, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Upper handguard on the carbine. We have a saddle ring on the carbine. But you kind of are going to be getting a little bit less variety in the look of the 1895s compared to some of the earlier models, because the front half of the gun, there's less going on because you don't have that magazine option. You then, of course, don't have the pistol grip option, so a little bit less variety. Main markings are going to be here on the side of the receiver. Pretty much, pretty standard compared to all the previous Winchester lever actions. We do have some new patent dates on this one. You can see this has some upgrades to it. There are patents here that go all the way up to 1907, beyond just the original 1895 patent that the design was based on. Caliber markings will typically be on the barrel, although if the rifle in question was a carbine with an upper handguard, the caliber markings would be put on the front of the receiver instead because the barrel was covered. So this is actually a quite early production gun in the early 38-72 Winchester centerfire cartridge. Here's an example of the early model marking on the Tang, model 1895. And here's another example, a later variation on that model designation. Serial numbers on the 1895s are located on the lower tang underneath the lever. So if we lift the lever out of the way, you can see we have a serial number right down here. Here's one more caliber marking that I do want to point out briefly because it's interesting. As I said, this rifle was really designed around the 30-40 cartridge. And when it was first introduced, it was marked, it was designated the 30 US because it was a 30 caliber cartridge, and it was the first U.S. military formal adopted 30 caliber cartridge, so 30 U.S. However, it wouldn't be that long before the 30-40 was replaced with the 30-03 and then the 30-06. All of a sudden now we have a couple 30 caliber military cartridges, and to avoid confusion, Winchester started remarking or changed their marking for the 30-40 to now be 30 Army. So both designations are the same cartridge, just they changed when the U.S. military adopted the 30-03. With these fancy new long-range, high-velocity smokeless powder cartridges, This style of adjustable Lyman peep sight actually became fairly popular on the 1895 in particular. So it pivots here. We have a locking lever. You can open that and then adjust it here, and hash marks are in hundreds of yards. So we've got a mark denoting 300 right there that I'll just leave it at. Lock the sight back down. And then you have this nice, precise rear aperture to shoot with, in conjunction with a nice fancy globe front sight. And this is actually a folding front sight. So when you're not using it, you can fold it flush on the barrel to help protect it. Now let's take a moment to compare the mechanical action. I have an 1895 here and an 1894 up here. And you can see some similarities between the appearance of the bolts and the locking system, but the changes are a little bit hidden. On the 1894, the locking block is visible right here at the top. On the 1895, it's actually kind of hidden a little bit more inside. As a refresher, on the 1894, when you open the lever, this locking block drops down. Once it's out of the way, it no longer holds the bolt into the receiver, and the action can cycle. The 1895 uses the same system, except you can see that the locking block is located underneath the bottom, the rear of the bolt back there. So it's doing the same thing, but it's a bit hidden from view. So the locking block is going to come up into this area instead of being completely behind the bolt. On the 1894, we also have this whole surface that drops down when you cycle the action. Couldn't quite do that with the 1895 because now it has a box magazine in the way. So now this system is kind of cut out so that it straddles both sides of the magazine in order to do the same job. So this was not just a trivial redesign. It was much more, going from the 94 to the 95 was a much more significant redesign than going from the 86 to the 92. One other element that was added, and this was introduced at something like 5,000 guns into production, a two-piece lever. So we now have a safety built into the lever itself. The lever has a spring-loaded component. The bottom surface of the lever right here has a latch that locks into this hook. So if you just grab back here, you can't open the lever. That's kind of an automatic safety. When you grab here, you can pivot this piece down just slightly, and that unlocks the system and allows it to cycle. So the King's patent loading gate is finally gone because of the box magazine, but there is a separate trick to loading an 1895 magazine. You'll notice that you have feed lips back here, and there's a nice cutout section right in the middle. In order to load this, what you do is actually stand the cartridge up vertically, push the case head down onto the follower, slide it back under these feed lips, and then pivot the cartridge down into in line with the bore and push it down into the magazine. So unless you have one of the Russian model guns that actually uses Mosin Nagant stripper clips, that's how you do it. Put the cartridge in, back, and then pivot it forward. As with many of the previous Winchester designs, the US military would never actually really use these guns. They came closer than with most of the others. There was an order placed for 10,000 of these in the late 1890s, but after the first 100 were delivered, they were rejected and the whole order was canceled. Those guns ended up being sold to Cuba, I believe, instead. There was some use of these by US Volunteer Corps and by US state militias and National Guards. But the U.S. military, again, just never came around to see the virtues of the lever-action rifle. Other militaries did. They did see foreign service, and of course, the more than half of the total production of these rifles was for the Russian military. And in Russian service, these were very well liked because whatever the downsides of a lever action in combat, and to the U.S., these included things like the lever being awkward to operate when prone, and the potential for a lot of dirt and debris to get into this action when it's open. Well, despite all of that, it is a far better combat weapon than a Mosin Nagant bolt-action rifle. And these things were very highly valued by the Russian troops who were able to acquire them.
So there's a few things there that, hey, over Patty, So when he was talking about how the locking lugs and the locking bolt was all of that was hidden, it was because of that. The bolt was significantly fatter in the 90 than the one in the 94. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but when they introduced that that two-piece lever, or the finger loop, is what we would probably more properly call them, that kind of did away with the option of the pistol grip, don't y'all think?
I would think so.
Be much more difficult to design a pistol grip with that lever.
And listening to him describe the loading method with that'd take a while. You know, that's not something like you can just boom, 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 shove them down into the magazine. That's gonna, you know, in a combat situation, I can see why that might be a disfavorable.
I wouldn't want to be in a particularly tight situation and have to fumble that around that much.
Well, the Russian contract rifles had stripper clips. You know, if they could do it for the Russians, they could do it for the U.S. Army as well.
That's true.
But I think one of the reasons why the 95 was so popular over the Mosin Nagant for the Russian military was because in World War One they were standing up shooting over those trenches. It was very rare to have to go prone. So we lost the Scotsman, huh?
He said he was having trouble with his computer or microphone or both, and couldn't quite figure out what was going on.
Well, I thought he would like this episode, but yeah, finally Winchester gets a military contract, but they still can't sell it to the American Army. Yeah, too much mud for prone. I like Walk's comment. Loads easy with a stripper clip. And yeah, y'all got to remember too. You know, the Winchester sold some pump shotguns to the American military for World War One. They called it the trench gun.
And they are very rare.
Yeah, they are. Apparently, the Russian contract rifles can be had in America if you can. I mean, they're not easy to find, but this comment right here, M. Gabriel, too much mud for prone. Yeah, you're probably standing in muck above the top of your boots in those trenches. I think they kind of gathered water.
Yeah, it weren't just mud either.
Right, it wasn't just mud. And you can also think about what I was saying about the trench guns. Back then, shot shells were made out of paper tubes, and if you dropped one down in that water, it was pretty well gone. So there's that. Any other thoughts or comments before we move on to call out the side chat? What can we type in? 1895?
Somebody's already done it.
Yeah, y'all type in 1895 and we'll call out your name on TV. There's RTAC. What's happening, bro? And they're off the page. All right, first in was Kyle Lusk. He's on the panel and in the side chat. After him was Bama Dad. He's on the panel and in the side chat. After him was Texas Six. He's on the panel too. Artac and Daughters is out there. Bobby Barlow, Walks Fletcher, Duffer 426, Ron 2A Matters, Dwayne 7834, Garage Guy 879, GGW Outdoors, Daniel God is my judge, Papa's Place, Artac's working, 01 Guy, Ozzy Osborne, Casey Dolph, Mr. Bob, what's going on? Mike Hester's on the panel as well. There's Floridian and Booms out there. Glad to have all y'all here with us this evening. All right. So, M. Gabriel says CZ 1895. Thank all y'all for being here. We're showing 45 out there right now. We're blessed to have all of you. So this was, I think, was the last of our Browning designs for Winchester. Mr. Bob. Yeah, everything's going on all at the same time. And if it's on the internet, it's got to be true, Mr. Bob. So, there's this thing coming up with from 1895, and when Browning designed the A5, the Auto 5 as it was called back then, 5-shot semi-auto 12-gauge shotgun. You know, up to this point, Winchester been paying him a design fee or buying him. No, we didn't start late, Tread. How you doing, bro? That one got between him and Winchester because after that he wanted a royalty, and Winchester wasn't doing that. We'll pay you for your design, but we're not going to pay you a royalty for every unit that we sell. Because I mean, this one right here, Winchester made 475,000 of these things, and the Russians bought nearly 300,000 of them. So he knew that A5 was a good design, and he wanted a royalty. Winchester said no, and so he went to Fabrique Nationale in Belgium and started a whole new world of Browning designs. And,
You know, he regretted making that Auto 5.
really?
He said it killed too good. He was afraid it killed too much game. He wished he had never designed it. It just shot too good, killed too good. It wasn't sporting. That's what he said in his older age.
Well, he did between the 1895 and the Auto 5. I think he did design some pump shotguns for that Winchester.
Well, I would have told Mr. Browning you've never been grouse hunting in North Carolina because it's completely sporting. Trust me.
Yeah. So yeah, We could probably do 3 shows on John Moses Browning guns
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
if we only spent like 10 minutes on each one. You know, he lived up until the mid-20s.
And then died of a heart attack in I think in Belgium.
His great, I want to say great nephew, I believe it is a dentist here in Houston.
Well, there ain't never been another mechanical mind like his, except maybe a few in the NASCAR sports that actually could see how something was going to work before they ever started designing it. You know, you see it in their head. The legend has it that when Winchester approached him about the 1892, he already had the design in his head, and we'll give you X amount if you design it in 6 months. How about 3 months? Well, we'll give you X amount. How about 2 months? We'll give you X amount. How about 1 month? Oh, we'll pay you big money. Well, he already had it in his head.
Yeah.
He was a friggin' genius.
Yeah. The way I heard it, they told him, if you can get it to us in 3 months, we'll pay you $10,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And he said the cost is going to be $30,000 and it'll be ready in 30 days. There's Glenn Davis. He was a little bit late. That's all right. Yeah, M. Gabriel. I'll draw it on a piece of paper for you right now, and you can pay me $50.
Yeah. You see this doohickey right here? It's what here lifts the shells up in the barrel.
Right. That's a good one, M. Gabriel. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's he was amazing.
You think about it, how much? Just think about World War II or World War One, but especially World War II and the U.S. forces, and how many Browning weapons were in use. I guarantee you, we could sit here and count them, and we'll miss one.
Yeah, well, the M1 Grand was not one of them.
No, but the 50 was.
The 50 was. Their sidearm still was. 1911.
1911.
That Tater Digger machine gun that was still in use, early Guadalcanal, but very heavy use of World War One. That was a John Browning design. That machine gun, water cooled.
Hey, Christian. Good to see you out there, brother.
The 30 carbine wasn't. John Browning would not design such a wimpy little weapon.
No. The BAR, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one I would love to have.
Well, there's a company out there. I just transferred one that's making them using as much of the original parts as they can, and they ain't cheap. I didn't ask the lady what her 16-year-old grandson is a World War II reenactor and World War One reenactor, and she bought him a Browning BAR and semi-automatic, of course. and got the blank firing adapter for it. This 16-year-old kid's 6'5", probably weighs 200 pounds.
Ooh.
Probably dwarf any World War II soldier out there. He's a huge kid, but it was nice to handle that thing. It was really, I think they make the outer shell, the stocks, and use as much original internal parts as they can. But yeah, I mean, there's only so much they can use because the BAR fired from an open bolt, but I was lucky enough to have a good friend that was a Marine on Guadalcanal, and he said that's the best sound you'll ever hear if you're an infantryman pinned down by the Japs. He said all that stuff whizzing over you and blowing up, and the smell of blood and guts and this and that and back and forth, and all of a sudden on your six you hear that big boom, 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 boom. And he said help's coming. Thank God help's coming. And
sounds
yeah.
about like a Huey helicopter, don't it?
Yeah.
Hillbilly, how was your week, my brother? How you doing?
Doing good, fellers. How y'all doing?
Doing
All
good,
right.
I reckon.
All
A
right.
whole lot better than I was.
Well, sorry I'm late. But good to be on here though. Good to see everybody.
Y'all need to stop playing lawn darts and come in and get on in time.
Well, I don't think my wife would have been too happy if I told her I'd jump on her and not make her dinner.
I hear you. I hear you.
That is a fact, sir. He you know where Clyde got most of those Browning automatic rifles?
Probably the FBI.
The
National Guard Armory broke
Yeah,
into it.
guards.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that if you read any type of biography of Bonnie and Clyde Barrow was that was a sick fool. He had a screw loose.
Him and that heifer he had with him.
I'd hardly call her a heifer. It's more like a bony mule. But she's mean as crap.
Yeah, they were. It wasn't all about money with them. I think they enjoyed killing.
They had a death wish too.
Somebody was looking at a couple of the target rifles that we have at the shop. Jamie saw them, and CW saw them, and it said 6.284. What is a 284? I said 284 is actually an old cartridge. What is it? I said it's a rebated rim. I said came out in a Winchester semi-automatic rifle. I said, ask Bonnie and Clyde. Oh wait, you can't because they got a bunch of holes in them that are 284. And I said they were
well ventilated.
I said if you find one nowadays, more than likely the stock's cracked, but they bring pretty good money. You know, neat little old handy rifle. And but that cartridge has been wildcatted. Unfortunately, because of that rebated rim, it says it's got the same bolt face as the 308, but if you stick a 308 case down in it, you can kind of wobble it around a little bit because of that rebated rim, you know.
Yeah.
And it don't work for everything.
It works really good in target rifles. Most of those guys that shoot F class are shooting either 6 or 6.5 284s.
Yep.
Timothy Burkett said it was Bonnie that carried the sawed off BAR. And Timothy Burkett asked, was it the BAR auto and .30 caliber. It was 30-06,
Yes.
like GGW.
It'd settle your hash really quick. Well, then they came out with what was the law enforcement came out with? The Monitor. It had a cut down barrel and had a big old cut compensator on it. And, but anyway, they picked the right man to settle their hash. Frank Hamer was the man for the job.
The private range I used to belong to, the owner, he had a BAR. I seen a guy shooting it. Yeah, it's something else to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's machine guns and then there's machine guns.
Yeah. Well, he had all of his stuff there. He had that. He had a Tommy. He had a Gatling gun. And I don't remember what else. My son got to shoot the Gatling gun.
Fun.
Yeah, but those F-class guys are shooting that 284.
Yeah.
Brass neck down to 6.5 or 6 millimeter. And they're shooting 2 and 3 inch group, probably smaller than that.
I haven't watched Cortina in a while. I don't know what he's been shooting for F-class. If he's been shooting the BR variants, the stretch BR variants, or is he still shooting that? I know he shot 6.5 284 for a while.
When I was watching him more regular, back when I had more time to actually watch anything, yeah, that's what he was shooting. But he's not only is he weighing those bullets out and grouping them together, but he's putting them on a lathe and taking some of the weight out, drilling up into the lead core. I'm like, or maybe they're solid copper, they're Barnes, I'm sure. And he's taking.
No, he shoots. He was shooting like burgers or cutting edge, or they were cupping core. Yeah,
burgers. I'm sorry.
Anyway, he's making them match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some folks say he's arrogant. I say, well, if you could shoot like that, would you be?
Dang, chessboard. In 1976, though, $100 was a lot of money. But still, it's a Thompson.
I had a cousin that was selling some full autos. He sold it to the wrong person.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Yeah, they got him.
There's one. $1928. Thompson. Savage Thompson.
That's one heavy gun.
The Chicago typewriter.
That's the one that had the fast cyclic, right?
Yeah, it would throw them out. Bonnie and Clyde had a couple of those too. But I think Clyde liked that BAR for the power. I mean, he'd stop a car with that thing. You know it.
Oh Lord, yeah. And you know, if they broke into the armory, they got all bunches of ammo. You know, they got armor piercing and everything else.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, 45 ACP ain't nothing to sneeze at if they shooting at you.
But it ain't gonna stop a car.
I mean, eventually, if you're able to put a few through the radiator on down the road, it'll burn up. But
We tested a Army surplus armor piercing, and I'd always heard, you know, go through an engine block. Well, it won't go through it, but it'll bust it. You hit it in the water jacket, she's done, Ben.
It'll
done.
go into it, and that's good enough.
That's it. But she's done. I mean, it'll crack it all the way down the side, and there'll be oil.
It'll cause enough damage in the cylinder wall to it'll destroy at least one hole.
Well, that engine will absolutely poop itself and stop shortly thereafter. You know. We'll head inside before the mosquito hordes come.
yeah, they like those Fords, Timothy, because they were the first V8s. That flathead V8 that thing would do a whopping 70, 80 miles an hour. And those T-model 4-cylinders wouldn't do that.
Can you imagine going 80 miles an hour in one of them things?
No.
On bicycle tires.
Yeah.
On dirt roads.
With wooden wheels.
In Texas.
Well, never mind. I'm going to retract that statement before I even say it. But certain things that clank.
Timothy said he lived 15 miles from where they're shot. I have stood in that spot and read that historical marker. We were coming back from Louisiana on a mission trip, and I saw that sign. I said, "Stop!" We had a van full of the church people. All right, we got a sighting. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Mario.
Hey, Mario.
I didn't know you were back, Walter. I'd let you done that.
We got it done.
West Coast weirdo.
Well, I try to stay in my lane. M. Gabriel, that's an interesting comment, but I don't dare put it up here. Clappy roads, too. Yeah, I made them stop. And I got out and, read the sign, and I came back and I climbed back in the van. I said, "Okay, I'm ready to go." And they said, "Well, what did you make a stop for?" I said, "This is the spot where they ambushed Bonnie and Clyde."
Yep.
And they like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, this is where they killed Bonnie and Clyde." Then they all piled out of the van and walked over.
I've been up that way many times, but never been over to it because my wife's family is from Jonesboro, which is not very far from there.
Yeah,
They hid out down here, I don't know, about 3 or 4 miles from my house. Supposedly, I mean, all the families, you know, had always talked about it because the family that they ended up like basically going in off of the main road, found that, you know, a farmhouse and or a cabin, you know, and they held up there for about a week. And they didn't hurt any of the family or whatever, but at one point, what it said was that they sent the husband to go get some ammo. You know, gave him money and all that to go get some ammo, but they had his family, you know, so he couldn't say anything.
Yeah, he was
if you
coming back no matter what.
if you want to read an interesting tale, Bonnie and Clyde's pretty boring. They were just bloodthirsty and rather idiotic, almost childlike. Read the story of Frank Hamer, and from youth to the time he hunts down Bonnie and Clyde. And Frank Hamer was a honest to God American badass. There ain't no doubt about it. He had a rancher that contracted him and his brother to be kind of like tenant farmers. Didn't like what they were doing. Shot Frank with a pistol. Frank got away from him. His brother helped him get back home. He healed up. He come back with a pistol. He challenged that landlord or whatever he was to step out. He killed him, and that was at 16. He just went on from there, and he served a long career in law enforcement and various agencies. But Frank Hamer was nobody to mess with.
You don't live to retire from the Texas Rangers without being a badass.
Oh yeah. Yep. And I forget the character Woody Harrelson played in that movie. But if y'all haven't seen the movie, what's the name of the movie? Help me out, Walter.
Highwayman is one of them.
Highwayman. Yeah.
Yep.
If y'all haven't seen that, it's worth the watch.
It is. That's a good movie.
And I just wish things were like they were when Kevin Costner, who plays Frank Hamer, walks in that gun store. I'll take 2 of those.
Yeah, 3 of those. Let me have those.
No, I don't want that shiny pink gun. Give me a blue gun. It's great. It's great. That whole scene is great.
Yep. Well, I suppose you're going to need ammo. Well, what good are the guns without ammo?
And they fill the back seat of that vehicle up.
Those poor leaf springs. You imagine the weight that was in the back of that car if that was even remotely real?
I know. Tell me about it.
I'm not sure that scene wasn't Hollywood, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. But the posse had at least that much firepower.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing, Mark Thomas? How was your week, brother?
Oh, my week was good. Been catching up on things. Just been enjoying summer. My son's been in plenty of activities, and I've been doing some actually casting and some reloading. So, been a good week.
Nice.
I need to get busy reloading what I've casted.
I tried to cast on Monday, and it was 96 degrees. I was sweating so much I had water running in my eyes. Just no good.
It's bad when you're sweating in your lead pot.
Yeah.
Rollins, I'm not sure that is the case. I think the state of Texas was paying for his guns and ammo because if I'm not mistaken, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that the warden of that prison that Clyde Barrow was in, the one he raided, went back and got his friends out. I think that's the guy that hired Frank Hamer.
Yeah, it was a state vendetta, from what I understand.
That's exactly right. The governor of Texas is the one that approached him and hired him back.
It was a you don't do that in Texas kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And Daniel says never spit in your lead pipe. Well, only if it's turned off. But that's kind of like that Fonzie wisdom from his dad. Don't go out in the rain in your socks.
I was thinking Jim Croce, don't mess around with Jim.
Yeah.
Don't spit in the wind or your lead pot.
And don't mess
pull
around
on
with Jim.
Superman cape.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is great advice, Daniel. And if you cast outside, if it even you're even thinking about rain, don't
That's
even.
why I use the back porch.
Daniel, I was 13.
There was something about the old Long Ranger in that song, Jamie, but I can't remember.
Don't mess around with the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with
Close
Jim.
to the old Long
You
Ranger.
don't tug the mask off the old Long Ranger.
That's it.
Lever Guns 50. What's going on, brother? We talked about the Winchester 1895 earlier. When you get back, we'll have to get you on to tell us what you know about all these lever guns, dude. Are you still in the Philippines?
God bless it. You know it's hot down there.
Well, it's no hotter than it is here. Here it's just 120% humidity. You got to have a snorkel just to go outside.
Well, we're on public TV, so I can't rate how hot it is from here to there. But it involves cuss words. But once you pass what I experienced last week, it doesn't make any difference. Anything hotter than that is bad.
You know, we had remarkably good weather when we were there.
Yeah, but it was hot.
It was hot, and it ain't like we didn't sweat, but
Well, dummy me, you know, I'm getting over like pre-pneumonia, I guess you'd call it, in one lung, and had been on doxycycline, and I didn't know that hot weather and sunshine doesn't play well with doxycycline. And I was wondering why at the end of the day, the first day, I felt like, I looked over at my wife and I'm like, I know it's just 8:30, but I'm ready for bed. And I'm going to go to sleep if I can get up early and go shoot with these boys. And she was like, okay, honey. And that second day, when she came in from work and I was getting all the grill ready, she just held her hand out and she said, hand me that pan. Go sit down. And she told me, she said, I was going to tell you, doxycycline and heat don't go well together, but I think you found that out. And I was like, yeah, I found that out. I've been on antibiotics, like 6 times in my life? You know, there you go.
that ain't quite as good as Viejo weather, but it ain't bad. Temperature barely reaches 80 in the daytime, and at night it's usually about 68 because we're up.
I'll take that all day long.
All day.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good weather right there.
It's still too hot to deer hunt, but hey, man.
I'm just glad I know where there's 25,000 gallons of water that's about 78 degrees, and it's not too far away from my back door.
I heard that.
Well, lever gun, I hope that stays that way for the rest of this month and next month, buddy, because it does get way hotter than that there.
So if y'all excuse me, I'll go let my puppy dog out because I know y'all can hear him bellowing. Go ahead, Hillbilly. Find something to talk about. I'll be right back.
Oh, I ain't got anything. I
got something. we're starting to see some real nice buck in velvet around the neighborhood.
Oh,
I saw a
nice.
beautiful
Oh.
6-point and a real nice 4-point yesterday.
Ooh.
We had a nice looking hen with 4 poults walking with her. They were probably about 7 inches tall. Who else is seeing some good indications of the fall hunting season?
It's actually kind of odd that you say that, Mark, because my wife was off today, and she took the dogs out for one of their normal multiple weekly adventures, and they jumped up a I guess you'd call it a fawn, and Gunner took off chasing it, just running around mountainside. He could have easily caught it, but they were just 2 youngsters playing in the woods, and they ran across some she ran across a family of hogs, wild hogs, and she said there was a male and a female and about 6 piglets, and of course they bolted and all that. She's like, I'd seen hog sign back here before, but didn't think anything about it. And they saw a whole gaggle of turkeys. I don't know if that's a proper word. Oh, that's geese. Flock of turkeys.
I call them a turd of herkies.
Yeah. But yeah, they saw a lot of wildlife today. And of course they left out about 7 o'clock, 7:15 in the morning.
That's awesome. Yeah, the weather, even though like we've had some hot days and some, of course, rain and storms, but as far as everything around here, we've been really blessed. I mean, unless you hate cutting them yard, because the the grass has stayed green as can be, and but I know that the wildlife's all doing good just from what I've seen. But also the coyotes haven't been coming up looking for something to eat. So that means that, rabbits, everything else is in full flourish. So
yeah, they've got plenty of food out there. So
yeah.
We're a little late seeing fawns around here. I seen one this past week. You reminded me of that. I didn't upload the short for it. I got little one out front. But we've been seeing quite a few bucks, and one of them's going to be a really, really good buck.
Nice.
Yeah, we're eat up with deer here, and but our turkey population is down for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. It's been going downhill for the last 3 years, and I'm not seeing near the flocks I see in the fall, which is when they flock up. You see them in big groups then. But we'll have to.
How's your coyote population?
Normal. It's normal.
It's, some of that can just be due to hunters.
Well, we're starting to wonder if it isn't putting chicken litter. We had a bad case of a bird flu here. And, we got a lot of chicken farms around here. And farmers put chicken litter because it's cheap on their soybean field or on their corn field or whatever to fertilize it. And the first thing you see when you spread that chicken litter, chicken parts, chicken crap, chicken everything in it, and is turkeys out there pecking on it. So we're starting to wonder if some of that ain't causing some problems. Maybe not, but getting the North Carolina wildlife to do even a small study is like pulling hen's teeth. So
yeah. Well, the only reason I say like sometimes it's hunters is because we've had old farms or places around here that has had quail on them, turkey or whatever for years and years.
Our quail are gone.
But people went in and they knew not to overhunt, and then like that place would sell to somebody new, and maybe they moved in from somewhere else, and they would literally like literally no more on that property. I mean,
Right.
so sometimes
You might hear a quail call every once in a while here, but they're mostly gone. Wild quail are gone here. They're just history. And the grouse, I had grouse in the mountains, and I hunted those a lot, and they're pretty much gone now too. So that's why I have Jack Russells instead of Brittany Spaniels and setters.
Rough grouse is our state bird up here in Pennsylvania. We still have a few, but not as many as we used to. We actually got some good news from the Pennsylvania Game Commission earlier this week. We've had a ban on Sunday hunting till way back in the 30s, and they've repealed that. So
cool.
The last few years, we've been able to have like 3 or 4 Sunday hunts a season, and they've already approved the schedule this year. So there's some politics involved, but we're hoping to get a couple extra days for Sundays this year. But the following year, we should have every Sunday open for hunting, which is going to be, quite a blessing for some of us. Those that work, those that have, kids with athletics on the weekends, Saturdays especially, that'll set Sunday aside that we can actually get out and hunt. Just get out there. We've got a bunch of people complaining, we can't go hiking on Sundays and we can't go riding our horses and riding our mountain bikes on Sundays. Well, bullshit. Your taxes didn't pay for our game lands. Pennsylvania game lands have been paid for by Pennsylvania hunters and sportsmen who've paid taxes on sporting equipment. And all those people that think they're entitled to that game land to go out hiking on Sundays and riding their mountain bikes, which is not legal during any hunting season in Pennsylvania anyway.
Yeah.
They can go kiss my ass.
Yeah, I mean, hunting season's only so long, so I mean, surely you can sit home for a couple weekends,
Oh no, the yuppies raise cane.
And the dumb son of a bitches go out there wearing no freaking blaze orange. They're out there in brown vests, and they're a pain in the ass.
I wonder how one of those will mount, but I don't want a dumb face staring at me for eternity. Here in my living room.
I remember all the blue laws, where we couldn't buy alcohol and all kinds of things. All the stores were closed, but we've never had a can't hunt on Sunday.
Boy, North Carolina was the same as Pennsylvania. You couldn't. That was a no-no. It didn't happen. Now you can hunt on Sunday. Now you need to stop hunting. The Baptist, the only way we got this in is the Baptist said, now you need to make them stop at a certain time and start back up at a certain time. So during church hours, like normal church hours, like 10 to 12, you're supposed to stop hunting. But and I still think that's on private land. I'm not sure it's on game lands.
Here in Georgia, that's the only time you can go hunting is between 10 and 12 on Sunday.
Really?
Everybody else is in church. That's the only time you can find a parking spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, around here, like we only get 10 days to rifle hunt, so most usually, like sometimes there's certain smaller churches that don't even have church during their season because most everybody
will be there anyway.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's sad to say, but honestly, here in Georgia, that's really the only time that you can actually get in the woods and not be sitting on top of somebody in a tree stand. You get there first, you get the high ground, I guess,
I got a question for all you guys. How many of you guys rate a man's hunting story, how good it is, by how he makes the sound effect of the shot with his mouth? Everybody does it a little bit different, you know. Katuyow or what katuyow. I had a dude doing a shotgun the other day, and he was describing shooting ducks with a steel shot and a 20 gauge, showing his boys up because the gun didn't kick as hard, and he was going. It sounded just like a shotgun, you know, and I was like, okay, I'm going to rate him 2 points higher because of his shotgun sound than I normally would anybody else. Because if the guy just said pow, 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 I'd throw him out of here. You know,
We usually just say kabam or kaboom.
Really? No one gets creative.
I say
People get creative around here now.
I need to have about 20 minutes worth of build up to the shot for a good hunting story.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
I was.
And they have to start
There I
out with,
was.
let me make the long story short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
25
ain't
minutes
no-
later.
How about this? This ain't no shit. All right. That's when you know it's a lie. This ain't no shit. Yeah. That's when you know
Natter.
it's a lie.
hold my beer because they got to act it out.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, Fred's got a good one. Hot dog, a sandwich.
It can be. Depends on how you make it. You got to fillet it. It's like a fish.
If you got 3 of them, it's a meal.
If you
That was
got
a good
2 of them,
video.
if you got 2 of them all the way and a 6-pack of beer, it's a happy meal.
Hot dog's a hot dog.
Yeah, ain't no
Only-
sandwich.
Only way a hot dog is a sandwich is if you slice it in 2 and fry 3 of them and put it on white bread.
That's what I'm saying. You got to fillet them.
Right.
Yep.
And
And a hot dog ain't a hot dog without Mike's chili sauce on it. Ain't that right?
you got that right. I still want that recipe.
I'll give it to you, Jamie. I'll sell it to everybody else. I'll give it to you and CW. That's some good stuff.
Well, Jamie, we'll trade it out, brother. When you get the recipe, just let me know. We'll trade it out.
It really is honestly more complicated than it needs to be, but it's good. When you're done with it, it's good.
That's kind of like my barbecue sauce. It takes all day to make, and you only get about 6 half pints.
That's it. That's it. And someone said, "You do all that for a dadgum mystery meat scoop shovel meat hot dog?" And I went, "You damn right
Yep.
I do."
Yep.
That's right.
That's because you know what's in that chili. You don't know what's in that hot dog.
Nope.
Well, I buy special hot dogs. I know exactly what's in it.
Yeah, the only hot dogs I'm buying are either Nathan's or
Ballpark all beef.
I just go to the butcher shop and get the 100% beef hot dogs. It's nothing but ground up sirloin and ribeye.
There you go. And spices. And that's
Yep.
it.
And they are good.
That's a good point, Robert Ham. Hot dogs are made in links like sausage. Technically, it's in the sausage family.
Well, then so would bologna.
Yeah.
It's just a bigger sausage, right?
Just uses a bigger casing. That's all it is.
And by the way, y'all, Walter, I want you to hear this. Jamie and CW and everybody here, I had my wife fry up a square of liver mush and cut it up, and everybody tried it that was here. And I did not hear one nasty complaint. Everybody said
It's a bunch of nice guys are in there that wouldn't complain
Yeah.
about
I was looking hard, you know. I had a pistol on them. I was looking hard. I was trying to see if anybody made a face. Nobody really made a face.
We all tried it, but I will point out, Gene's not here tonight.
True. True. And I haven't looked. looked under that couch cushion to see if there's a little old square liver mush under it. He might have ducked it up under there. He said it wasn't bad, you know.
See, Robert Ham, let me explain something to you, my brother. Nice beard, too, by that picture. When I was young, when I was a little boy, we didn't have hardly anything. We ate a bunch of Vienna sausages and potted meat, hot dogs, and bologna. And then this is why I tell you that education is pivotal. So as I kept going to school and kept learning how to read more and more, and I started reading the ingredients in these things. And Robert Ham, you ain't wrong, brother. Once you get old enough to read and understand the ingredients in hot dogs and potted meat and Vienna sausages and all that other garbage, and you still eat it, it's your own dang fault.
Yeah. I mean,
we were having a cookout.
But by then you like it.
Yeah,
we were having a cookout at the shop, and the boss man sent me and my buddy Pete to the store. He said, "Get some hot dogs and some sausages. We'll grill them out and we'll feed everybody." Okay. So me and Pete are in the grocery store, and they got these big packs of hot dogs, and this one's like $15, and this one's like $22. Same stuff, or same number. And I'm like, "Well, this one says kosher, and this one just says hot dogs." I said, what do you think makes the hot dogs kosher? And Pete looks at me and goes, "I guess they wash the assholes first." I don't know.
Oh, God.
There ain't no oink in Hebrew now.
There ain't no oink in kosher food. Yeah.
What's all in that stuff at the same time they eat some of this stuff that's from, our ancestors, all these crazy stuff that's stuffed in a sausage, but that's good stuff.
Yeah, anytime you look at a back of a potted meat can, and I would say that's probably, you can't even find this in Vienna sausages now, because it's all chicken. But if you flip on the back of potted meat and you see pig lips, and I tried to imagine if you did use pig lips, why would you put it in the ingredients? Couldn't you just say pig meat? Because I'm thinking of the lips of a pig.
What part it is, just put it in there.
Yeah, just put pig meat. Don't put pig lips.
Feet, lips, ears.
I grew up on that potted meat too, and it's like I tried some a few years ago, and I go, "This is not the same stuff I grew up on. It's nasty."
Yeah, it is. Your palates become more sensitized or less sensitized to it.
No, it's become more. What's the word? Not grown up, but come on, somebody help me.
Sophisticated.
That'll work.
Yeah, we're going to get more into that, Walks Fletcher, in the verse of the week here in a little bit.
Well, no, I know what kosher means. I was just making a joke. Then Pete hit the ball out of the park with that one.
Yeah.
You're fine, as Walt says.
Well, they got a local radio comedy show that always makes fun of Carl from Sling Blade. Say this program sponsored by Hargrove's Potted Meat, Peckers and Lips since 1927. I'm like, yeah.
At least they're honest.
All right. See, the only thing worse to me, Robert Ham, than potted meat is sardines packed in mustard. I'm talking about, you can open a can of that stuff and you'll swear that's done been eaten once, and it was probably by a man.
I like sardines, but I don't like them in mustard.
That's done been eaten once. Jesus.
I like those little canned smoked oysters.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about you can run You could run a
But-
freight train off. You could
No.
just stick a
No.
hose where the sun don't shine. You could run a freight train all the way from here to Washington State after eating canned smoked oysters. God.
All right, y'all straighten up. It's time for the verse of the week.
Oh, here we go. Good. That'll straighten us up.
Straighten out.
Some of us need more straightening than others.
Yeah. All right.
What
Here
are you
we
looking
go.
at, man? What are you looking at?
This is how we need to be closing our show every week. And if I can remember, this is what we're going to do. Numbers 6:24. Remember, we're going through some Old Testament stuff. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. In Numbers, we're going through a lot of regulations about how God's chosen people, the Hebrews, are supposed to live, the nation of Israel. And this is when Moses is still their leader. So chapter 6 starts out with the vow of the Nazarene, and he continues into the Nazarite vow goes consequences of breaking the vow, and then concluding the Nazarite vow, and then sacrifices, the unleavened bread, and so on and so forth. And then it gets down to verse 22, and it says, "And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the way you shall bless the children of Israel. Say to them," in other words, God here is telling Moses and Aaron and their spiritual descendants were commanded to bless the people of God. They were doing it according to the procedure detailed in the following verses. Trap there says, "So Christ did upon his apostles, which was his last action upon earth," Luke 24:50. "And so must all pastors do that would do good on it." And so must all pastors do that would do good on it. Pray down a blessing on their people. See, God wants people to be blessed. And he expects his spiritual leaders to love their people enough to bless them. And this is how they are to bless them. The Lord bless you. The simple desire begins everything. God loves to bless his people, and he wants leaders who long for the people to be blessed. This also recognizes that all blessing really comes from God, and without his blessing, nothing really works right. So we've often settled for happiness or comfort or wealth when God wants us to be blessed. True blessing from God is higher than happiness or wealth or comfort. And he says, "So the Lord bless you and keep you." To be kept by the Lord is a blessing indeed. Some are kept by their own sin and desire. Some are kept by idolatry and greed. Others are kept by their own bitterness and anger. To be kept by the Lord ensures life, peace, and success. The Lord make his face shine upon you. To have the glorious, pleased face of God shining upon a man is the greatest gift he could have. To know that as God looks upon you, he is well pleased, not because of who you are or what you've done, but because you are in Jesus Christ. There is no greater source of peace and power in life. Spurgeon there says, "Why should he fret when God smiles? No matter though all the world should censor, if Jehovah countenance his servants. A look of approval from God creates a deep, delightful calm within the soul. Amen.
Amen.
And be gracious to you. The idea is that God would show tender mercy and care for his people. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you. The priest was to pray that God would look upon his people. When he blesses, keeps, shines, and is gracious toward his people. Any look that God directs toward his people is filled with nothing but blessing. His loving attention is on the believer and give you peace. The Hebrew word is shalom, which is more than the end of aggression. This peace, this shalom, is God's word for wholeness and goodness and total satisfaction in life. This is the abundant life Jesus promised in John 10:10, where he says, the thief does not come except to steal and to kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Notice the source of all of these things is the Lord. 3 times the word the Lord, the words the Lord. It does not prove the Trinity, but it illustrates it. God the Father blesses and keeps his children. God the Son makes God's face to shine on us and bring us grace. God the Holy Spirit communicates God's attention to us and gives us peace. The word you is repeated 6 times for emphasis. God wants to bless you. We often feel as if God really wants to bless someone else. He wants to bless us. The prayer is cast in poetic form and is probably one of the oldest poems in Scripture. That's Windham. All right. Questions or comments?
You know, when you look at the thing in total context and you realize that's what God was telling Moses to tell the high priest Aaron, how to bless his people, the Israelites. And he told him to go through and say the blessing that you just said. And that's the benediction prayer at the end of, you know, when they would go to temple for sacrifice for sin. And at the end of it, he would speak this over the people. And then in verse 27, before it switches over into chapter 7, it says, so they will put my name on the Israelites, they being the priests on the Israelites. And then it says, I will bless them. So that was an instruction from God to Moses. Tell Aaron, this is how you bless my people. And when you do it, I puts my name on them, and I will bless them.
Yeah, I think every church service should be ended that way.
That's the way our pastor ends the service every Sunday. And to be honest, until I looked at it right here like this, I didn't really understand. I mean, I knew what it meant. You know, I knew what he was saying, and I knew where it came from. But the fact that is a priestly instruction from God. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Shalom. Apparently I didn't pronounce it right. Sorry, Walks.
Yeah, I like the way it's very personal to each and every one of us, and
but corporate at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's instruction of how his men should bless his people. When God makes his face to shine upon you, it's because he loves you and he wants to see you smile. He wants to see you laugh. He wants to see you happy.
100%.
Very nice, guys. Very good. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. So are y'all enjoying some of the Old Testament verses?
Heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I like the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You wouldn't have the new if you didn't have the old first.
Very true.
Okay, Walks, you got me confused now, brother. I appreciate you asking him not to say. Okay, right
You just
here,
said it redneck style. That's all.
shalom is pronounced shalom, SLOAM. And then I think at first I said shalom.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
We have a linguist
And
amongst
then he says the O is short O, which would have been shalom.
No, he's saying that's what he called you out on was the short.
Okay.
Well, I think the good Lord can even understand the pronunciation from the South too. So
Yeah.
He gave us the accent.
Torah is always the best. Good deal, Walks. So yeah, we'll be doing some of these Old Testament verses for a while.
There's plenty of good stuff in the Old Testament.
I'm sorry, Walter. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's plenty of goodness in the Old Testament. Lots of great stories, and lots of instruction like this on how to act and how to behave, and what some of the consequences might be of our failure to do so.
Well, my feet ain't caught on fire yet, Walter. So I must be doing it in good faith and good humor.
I've got a good Jewish friend of mine, and he's here in Georgia, and he is a country boy. And every time I talk to him, he always begins and ends the conversation with shalom.
Huh.
Today, my doppelganger. I didn't know they went today. I thought they went last week, one day last week, earlier in the week. He didn't have that southern twang. I guess he does a little bit at times, just a little bit though, Tommy boy. And yeah.
Well, Jamie, I hate to say goodbye right now, but I'm gonna jump off here, and I gotta get over on Chad's show. So thanks a lot for having me, y'all. I really appreciate you.
Well, tell him we
Great
missed
show,
him.
as always.
Tell him we missed him tonight.
Yeah,
Right,
I believe, but I believe he had his wife's family was in this weekend, so he's like, yeah, it's going to be rough to even get to his own show, he said. So, anyway, you guys all have a blessed weekend. Appreciate you. all. Love you. Yeah.
Tomorrow night, man.
Yeah. Gunsburn Therapy tomorrow night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Ain't doing nothing. Swing by and visit us.
Take care of business, brother.
And
We'll see y'all.
good night. thanks for being here, Hillbilly.
Hey, you bet. Thanks for having me.
And then after we get done, y'all, if you're not busy or going to bed, get over and visit with Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. Let's talk about bench rest.
I'm gonna boogie on out of here too, Jamie. I got to go to work tomorrow. So,
work.
Yeah.
See,
That's
when
a
we were,
word, Rebel.
If
when we were
you,
up there, y'all was telling me that was a 4-letter word and I couldn't use it.
I'll sit in my. Jamie was fussing at me for sitting in my throne. I would sit in my throne and hold court over everybody. He said, "You ain't at work now. The shop's closed." I didn't tell him my knee hurt so bad I had to sit down. So,
that's when you go, all rise.
Yeah, really. But anyway, I'll see y'all next Friday. All righty.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your weekend.
All right, see y'all. Bye.
And good night to Mock as well. He's heading home. He's been watching us from work. And he'll be putting up links. There's one for Chad's show up next. We got one from Tread, American Hillbilly, and got one for the Rebel.
I at least got to relax this Friday night. Last Friday was a little busy. I made it here about 18 seconds before y'all ended it.
Sages for plane-based gas checks. That's the only place I know of. Walter, you know anybody?
Mm-mm. I haven't. I got a few, a couple boxes of gas checks on the shelf, but I haven't put a gas check on a bullet in 10 years, I bet, since I started powder coating stuff.
Well, I'm kind of like Brian on that deal. I believe that I believe a gas check designed bullet shoots better with a gas check on it, whether you're pushing it to that limit or not. But then again, it's just theory for me because I ain't tested it.
Some people say it helps balance out the bullet.
Yeah, those Lees that I've been shooting in the 30-30 after I put the gas checks on it, they shot better.
Cool.
Well, that's good to know because I'm awful hesitant to spend $50 or $60 on a box of gas checks for something that I don't need.
But there's a guy right up there that can make you some.
Might be tempted to get one of those kits myself and make them myself.
Well, let me know.
They are building a house right next door to me. I'm pretty sure they'll have some leftover door molding or something like that.
Some flashing or something, huh?
The metal has to be a certain thickness. Good night, Walks.
Night, Walks. Talk to you tomorrow.
Can get that copper at like Lowe's and Home Depot, can't you?
So let's start going through the room. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said you can get that copper at like Lowe's and Home Depot, can't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's got to be like, what is it, 12 thousandths or something?
Yeah, maybe not that thin.
I think 12 to 14, somewhere around in there.
CW's got plenty of videos on it.
Who does?
CW.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might be able to just
14,000. That's what I was thinking. And there's the A-Holes channel.
Thanks, Fred.
Mark, what you got coming up this week, bro?
Well, I have cast some 38/357 wad cutters. I sent a couple of them to our friend 3 Jeep and some other bullets cast and powder coated. So my goal is to get some of those coated myself, just want to shoot some of those. I have a burning desire to get some of those wad cutters cast from Viejo that he sent me. I want to run them through my 41 mag Blackhawk and the Contender that I got recently. So those are the two main goals. I also want to do a little bit of loading for 308 and 32 special. So that's hopefully coming up here in the next week or two.
Very good. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right, Walter.
Yep. All right, I'll be quick because I don't have a whole lot going on. I got the second half of that wad cutter video that we did last week. That one kind of got a lot of attention. That little bitty 116 grain wad cutter for 41, and
Little Lee.
yeah, that little single cavity Lee was kind of beat up and kind of in sad shape, but it was an interesting bullet and didn't actually shoot too bad, all things considered, since who's ever shot when there's no load data anywhere for that thing. So you kind of had to make it up as you go along, but it was interesting and it did shoot okay. So we'll put that up on Wednesday, and I've been using some new grips from a company that the 6-shooter turned me on to, called Arizona Custom Grips, and they've got kind of a proprietary material that they're making out of them that looks really nice and feels really nice. And I got 3 sets of them now, and I'm going to do a review of those at some point this coming week. So we'll get something out there, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to go shooting on Monday and see what happens.
Here's a question before we go. Timothy Burkett, best powder for 45 Colt, 250 grain lead.
Unique. It's a law.
Yeah, state law.
It's universal. Go ahead, Kyle. What you got coming up?
Well, like I said, I got a bunch of rounds loaded up for that Argentine Mauser. Need to getting focused on shooting them, and let's see, what else have I got? Gonna start loading some Russian ammo for SKSs and AKs. I did get to take my my stainless steel Swiss paratrooper AK-47 chambered in 223. I got to take it out and shoot it. It does fire. Accuracy is to be determined, but it does shoot. And yes, the first time I pulled a string on it. I'm gonna do the same thing with that Argentine. And then we're gonna move over to Mosin's and some other Milsurp rifles. We got plenty of bullets cast up. They're all powder coated and ready to size. I got to size them and load them and shoot them. So that's coming up. I don't know. Other than that, I got to work until Wednesday. I'm off Wednesday and Thursday, so probably Wednesday or Thursday before I get to do anything. But I get off early enough in the afternoon. I can get some stuff done before I have to go to bed. But 4 o'clock in the morning comes early, and I got to work tomorrow. So that's about all I got.
Well, man, appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mama Dad, what you got coming up, my brother?
Well, I'm gonna start doing some reloading on some 300 PRC.
Yeehaw!
That and working on my old drill press. I'm restoring. That's about it.
Thank you for being here, brother. We appreciate
Oh, I
you.
appreciate you inviting me.
We love having you here. Mr. Six, what you got coming up? Cowboy shooting tomorrow?
Yes, we got a cowboy match in the morning, so hopefully it won't rain on us. It looks like weather's starting to calm down here in Texas, so I wish y'all will pray for all these people, not just in Texas, but New Mexico, all those It's tough. All those little kids getting killed. So, but
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
got a match tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get to the range maybe Sunday. I'm not sure if I will or not. Do some more load testing. So we'll see. Got some work to do in my reloading room though.
Don't we all?
Good luck, Six.
I had to go buy a brick of shotgun primers today because I was out of shotgun primers. So.
I got some of those.
Yeah, thankfully, that's one thing I've still got plenty of.
Yeah, but when you shoot a couple hundred of them every weekend, it's
Don't take long.
Keep 'em.
I understand.
Well,
that's all I got though. How about CW over there?
Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank y'all for letting me be here.
I got a whole bunch of videos lined up. I think I got one every day, I think. And I got another optic coming in. We're going to be talking about pretty soon. That'll be fun. I got to compare that to the Zulus. Get it out on the range and see how it works. That's a one leaf day-night scope. And then some more shooting. I got some more caliber videos carrying on with a couple other things. I got a lot of irons in the fire, so I got a lot of things to catch up on. We got that 458. We got the 57 Harriet carbine, and I got that 57 Maxi bolt action, which I've been working on a little bit too. So I've got a lot of things to complete, finish up, talk about. That's about it for me. Thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody in the side chat. I am only on the cell phone, so I'm not able to do the side chat and everything else like I normally do, so I apologize for that. But we do appreciate you. Jamie, what you got going on?
Waiting on your box to get there, brother. I'm excited. I'm working on a scope review for this. DNT Optics. The one. And it's showing backwards. 6 by 35 through 35 by 56. First focal plane. This thing is nice. But I will have that out before the weekend is over. I promise. I meant to have it up last week. Other than that,
that's going to be a multifaceted, right? It's something we all contributed on.
yes,
Good. It'll be a fun one.
it's starring JH586 and CW Longshot, directed and produced by Reloading from the Hot Pot. So let's do our blessing. The Lord bless you and
Keep you.
The Lord makes his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. See if I can say it right. Shalom.
Shalom.
I hope that's right, Walks. Anyway, we hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night, y'all.